Hi everyone, it's Brenda Quintana, and I'm excited to share some additional ideas with the December 2021 Lots of Pun Paper Pumpkin Kit. I'm going to share how you combine your stamp set and ink spot with a few additional supplies to create note cards and a matching note card gift box. This will help you keep creating once all your consumable supplies are gone from your kit. This video is for everyone, but I'm also going to have a project sheet for just my subscribers. And also my subscribers will get a kit night with me on Zoom on February 2nd. That's a Wednesday. And that kit night happens every single month. If you would like to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, I'm going to just pop up my link on the screen right here. And that's the link that you can use to get to the Paper Pumpkin page. And I'll also have a clickable link down below if that's easier for you. If you have any problem subscribing or you need any help at all, here's my email address. It's brendaqstamps with an S on the end at gmail.com. When you're subscribing, sometimes it doesn't input me as the demonstrator right away. So on the second page, when it asks you to select your demonstrator, you can put in Brenda Quintana, and I'm in Auburndale, Massachusetts. We will have a new Paper Pumpkin every single month, and we'll have a new one in February as well. And I will share information about that new kit coming up at the end of the video. The sign up for Paper Pumpkin is by the 10th of each month, and we already passed the January kit deadline, and I'm a little bit late with this video this month because my stamp set was not in my December kit, so I just called Stampin' Up and they sent me out a new stamp set. Of course, it arrived a little bit later, and so now I've had time to create this video and extra samples for you. And that's a good reminder to you also, when you get your kit, make sure you go through it, make sure everything is there, and if there's anything missing, if I'm your demonstrator, please reach out to me and I will contact Stampin' Up for you and get that missing piece sent out. Or if you are signed up with someone else, reach out to them so that you can get that taken care of. All right, I am going to change my screen and we're going to pop over and I'm going to share with you my alternate samples. Okay, here we go. All right, so here is my Paper Pumpkin kit, and these here are the cards that you could make with the original kit with, and all the pieces are there to make those samples. And I just wanted to create some alternate samples, mainly using the stamp set and the ink spot. I want you to have more life with your stamp set afterwards. So, but they will create all of these samples for you. So let me just pop those aside. And then for my subscribers, I'm going to have this great little PDF, and it has photos of everything and instructions, and it has a diagram for my note card box and a supply list. So you will, if you're a subscriber of mine, you will be getting that in an email very shortly. I also, for this note card, I also created these cute little labels, that says lots of pun note cards, and I'm going to make a separate PDF for that so that you can have those ready to punch out with whatever punch shape you want, or die cut. Or cut out just in little squares, and you can use that for the front of your box. I think that's kind of a cute little addition. It says lots of pun note cards. So this is the cute little note card box. You can decorate it up however you want. It's easy to make. And let me just show you what it holds inside. So I made 8 different note cards, and I kind of made them in sets. So here is the first set. And these ones I did without little faces. And they're just basically made the same way using paper from the Regals, this little collection, the Regals Designer Series paper. If you don't like these colors and you want to make these note cards, we have the brights, we have the subtles. You can choose whatever colors you like, whatever color family you like. But I just chose the Regals because I thought they worked well with this kit. All right, so that's the first set. And then I made another set, and this time I did little faces on the stamp set comes with the little faces. This is just the most adorable little paper pumpkin I've ever seen. And look at, aren't those cute? You can maybe not see those so well because the cherries are red, but you can see they're so sad because I'm sorry, that's the pits, right? So just very, very cute. Look at this. Excited for you. Just adorable. And these are all made in the same way. So I'm going to show you how to make one of each of these note cards in this set so that you can get the idea. And then the rest are all built in the exact same way. This little note card box also holds 8 envelopes. I use the note cards and envelopes to create them. It's just going to be super simple because you already have card bases and the envelopes all in one place so that you'll be able to just pop them in the box afterwards. Just a very simple little box, and then it just closes up like that. And it's just super cute. And I'm going to show you how to make the note cards, and then I'll show you how to make the box. So let me pop these forward. This one. And then I think I'm making this one. All right. Okay. So I am going to start off by making one of the note cards. And the note cards and envelopes, they come in this little package right here. You'll need to pick up a little package. They have 20 note cards and 20 envelopes. So it's just perfect, ready for you to craft. And I've pulled out a note card already. And you just need to fold it along the score line. And I like to use my bone folder to smooth down that fold. Okay, so it lays nice and flat. And we're going to be making, the first one we're going to be making is, we're going to be making the one with the little eggs on it. So you're going to cut yourself a little piece of, a second, I'm going to do it exactly like I told myself in the instructions. So first we're going to take a piece of designer series paper. I'm using Rich Razzleberry here. This is a piece of 2 by 3. I try to use measurements that would make the best use out of your paper so you can get a lot of cards out of each one of these if you want to make a bunch. So I'm just going to take this and put some Tombow on the back. And I'll center it on the left side using the same amount of distance, top, bottom, and side, just really easy peasy. Now we're ready to stamp our little piece. I popped my little egg here onto a C block. When you get your first kit, you're going to be getting a D block. This is just a little bit smaller, and I like to use blocks that match my stamps exactly. So after a while, if you're getting Paper Pumpkin regularly and you're using the stamps in the kit, get yourself blocks that match more closely to your images so you have a better result with stamping with them. Also, your kit will come with a little spot. Let me pull that out. It's coming with a little early espresso spot. I'm going to be stamping with my full-size ink pad, and I want to show you how neat it is to have a full-size ink pad. Of course, you can totally use your little spot to ink up. I'm only using early espresso ink for all of these cards. So I'm just going to open this up here, and the best way to stamp this is to stamp the middle image first. This piece measures 4 inches by 1.5 inches, and that's the same for all of that set of note cards. So I'll just ink that up, and I kind of just eyeballing it and centering it. And then I'll twist this a little bit just so it's not, it doesn't look exactly the same. Okay, so that is all you need for that little piece. And then we're going to color with Stampin' Blends. And for this one, I'm going to use the Daffodil Delight, and I'll use the bullet tip. And I'm just going to put the yolk in there. This is the Daffodil Delight Dark. Okay. All right. Very easy. And in a moment, I'm going to share with you the colors I use for each of the pieces. So I'm just going to glue this down here. If you're worried about stamping something incorrectly, you can always, before you put all your pieces down, you can just lay them down and stamp and then glue everything down. I'm going to take my chances though, and I'm just going to lay that down and glue it right there. So now I need to find my little greeting. I've got them all on little blocks. Let me see if I can find. Okay. There we go. I have them all on these little blocks because I was creating a bunch of them. This one says, "Have an excellent day." So I'm just going to open this up, tap, tap, tap on my ink pad, and I'm just going to stamp that right below my greeting or my little images like that. It's just so super cute. I love punny greetings because I love to smile, so it's nice to have that to smile about. And then I'm going to take a little bow that I created earlier with this black and white gingham ribbon. It just works so well with this card set. And you can use a mini glue dot, but what I found is sometimes with the mini glue dots, the adhesive, it's not quite enough adhesive on that little knot. It kind of wiggles its way off. So to make this more secure, I just take a piece of tear and tape and I literally just put it on the back of the loop. And this is just going to give your bow just a little bit more hold than it would with a mini glue dot. So I prefer this method. It takes just a little bit more time, but if I'm sending someone a note card set, I want to just make sure that the little bows are going to stay on and not peel off. Okay, now I just need to find the end that peels off nicely. Okay, here we go. And let me try it on this side. There we go. Okay, so now there's adhesive all along the back loops like that. And then I can just kind of position it and then press down on those little loops. And that should stay put fairly well. Isn't that so cute? I just love it. So for the other note cards in this set, this one I did stamp the cherries, and I used Cherry Cobbler Light and Old Olive Dark to color that. For the bananas, I used Daffodil Delight Dark and Soft Suede for the top and the bottom of the banana. And then for the toast, I used Soft Suede Light on the edge, the crust of the toast, and I shaded in just around the edges of the white just to kind of give it a little bit of a toasted look. And there I used Crumb Cake Light. So that's why I made that set of note cards. Just they all are made in the same way. Now I'm going to make the other set. And again, I'm starting with a little note card. I'm going to fold it in half. It's already scored. And then I'm just going to smooth this out so it stays nice and flat. And then I'm going to take another piece of paper, and this one measures 5 inches by 1 inch. Choose whatever pattern you want, whatever color you want. It doesn't matter. This will look really nice with everything. You can mix and match. It's just a lot of fun. All right. Okay, so now I want to punch out a shape, and I'm going to use it's called Label Me Fancy, I think. It is Label Me Lovely. Sorry. Label Me Lovely punch. And I'm just going to punch a shape out of basic white cardstock. And then I'm going to grab the toast image and I'm going to ink it up. Just try and center it. I'm going to just tilt it a little bit to the side. Okay. And then I want to add, I'm going to add two little things. I need the little happy face. Oh, and I should mention there are two little happy faces. One is a narrow happy face and the other is a wider one. So for the toast I can use the wider one, but for the banana and the egg you'll want to use the one that's a little narrower. That's why there's two on the sheet. This is the little stamp set sheet. And I use many of the images, but I didn't even use them all because there's so many great greetings in here. I used 8 of them, but you can mix and match for whatever greetings you want to put on there. There's so many more that I didn't use, like Celebrate Go Bananas, You Tell the Best Jokes. It's just so cute and fun. Okay, so I've got my little smiley face and I'm just going to stamp it kind of at the top of this piece of toast. And then, oops, I'm going to take the little eyeglasses. I thought they were really cute. And I'm just going to kind of add them just around the eyes. And then the smiley face almost looks like a nose. It's kind of funny. I use little A blocks for these little accessories because a big D block, while you can definitely use it, it's a little harder to maneuver because that little tiny stamped image is really small. You'll also, when you stamp a tiny little image like this heart, make sure, first of all, if you're using a regular size ink pad like ours, make sure you go a little light touch on the ink pad. If you're using the spot, it will be a different material that it's made out of, so you won't have to worry so much about pouncing it too hard. But you'll still want to use a very light touch when you just stamp it down. So I'm bringing it down and I'm just barely kissing it, and I am putting it down for a little while, but I'm not smushing it down hard onto the piece because that will just, it won't do a good job. So I we'll add this over here. When you smush it too hard, it creates like a shadow, and it will distort the image or the words a little bit. So I'm just going to add this over here. It's coming together. And see, the toast is going to have, it's going to have like a brown heart. It's not going to be a red heart. Oh, and I forgot to color it. So let's just do that real quick. I've got my soft suede. That's dark. I need my soft suede light. And I'll just use the bullet tip, and I'm just going to come along here and do the crest. Okay. And then it looks really cool if you can shade just a little bit in. I'm using the crumb cake light. I'm just going around with the brush tip. Just going to hit it just along the edge. And it just kind of gives it that toasted look. You can come in a bit more on the edge. Okay, there, that looks a little bit better. Okay, so now I want to add my greeting. Let's see, I can find it more easily this time because it's a short greeting. I love this one. I loaf you. Oh my gosh, it is so cute. And this time I'm stamping it just above the paper and kind of next to the greeting. And then to finish it off, I'm going to add another bow. And then I'll just, let's see which side of the bow. Okay, I'm going to put this on this side. I'm just sticking and tearing. Pressing down. And then pressing down again. lifting off. And then this little bow, it's gonna go down here at the corner of this punched shape, and that just kind of finishes it off. Isn't that cute? It's just a cute, simple little note card. And when you've got all of these made up, then you can make them into a gift for someone, because it does make for a really cute little gift. So just so you can see, here are the cards that I made with this set, and each one just has an image that's punched out, and I stamped the little faces on here. If you think the little faces are too cheesy, well then just leave them off. I think it's kind of cute to have one set that has without, and then maybe one that has with. So, you know, you can pick and choose. I like to be cheesy and funny, so I love the little faces. Look at, isn't this cute? Peel better soon. I just love it. And I love you, excited for you. I'm sorry, that's the pits. Just super, super cute. Okay, so now we need to make a note card box to go with it. And wouldn't you know it, I forgot my cardstock across the room. Ooh, let me grab a piece. This will give me a great opportunity to show you how I cut things down on the paper trimmer. So we need to cut this down. I'm going to just bring out this arm right here, like that. I'm going to switch over to my instructions so that I get the right measurements, everything. All right, so I'm going to just lift up my arm right here, and I need to put this over onto the 7 3/4 inch marks. This piece starts off as 8.5 by 11, and I just threw my cutting blade off of my thing. It's okay, because it will just fit right back in. There's a spot right there. You can't see it. Down here at the bottom, there's a slightly bigger spot. That's where you switch your blades in and out of here. And there's the cutting blade and there is the scoring blade. And I just kind of flick this and this came off because it was sitting right over top of the hole. Normally I have them sitting up at the top of my trimmer. Okay, so let's actually slide this up to the top right here. And so we're going to cut this 8.5 by 11 piece down to 7 3/4 by 11. So I'm just going to line up one of the short sides at the 7 3/4 inch mark and then cut. Okay, so there is your piece. All right. I'm going to use the scoring board for this because it's easier to score on the scoring board. You can also score on the trimmer, so you can definitely do that. But I love my scoring board for scoring bigger pieces and multiple scores at a time. So I've got my 7 3/4 inch side up at the top, and I am going to score at the 1 1/4 inch mark all the way down to the bottom, and also at the 6 1/2 inch mark. Then I'm going to turn my piece to the 11 inch side, and then we're going to score at 3 3/4 inches and 5 inch mark and 8 3/4 inches and also at the 10 inch mark. All right. So now the easy thing to do would be to cut with scissors. You can also use your trimmer to cut. So let me just show you. So on this piece, we've got kind of two corner squares right here, and then on the other side we've kind of got big long segments. You want to work on first on this side right here. We're going to cut away these two corner squares. One of them isn't quite a square, but the corner the corner segment, and then the one right next to it, we're going to cut those away. And in my thing for my Paper Pumpkin subscribers, you can kind of see right here, that's page is showing through. Let me do this. You can kind of see you're going to cut away those two corner squares. Okay, so we can do that also with the trimmer, and the trimmer will give you slightly straighter cuts. You could just cut along here and here, but if you like to have really straight cuts, I'm just going to line up right here, bring my cutting blade right to the second score mark and cut. And then I'm going to twist this down here, line it up. Now my square is actually on the other side down here. Actually, I'm going to make it better. Okay, I've cut this one and I'm going to flip it to the other side and line it up, because otherwise it's going to be kind of confusing. Okay. And then these two pieces I want to cut here and here. So I'm just lining up my score line right on my trimmer. I'm bringing my blade to that score line. I'm keeping this up until then, cutting it. So now that's away. And then I'm going to come down here to the score line. I'm not cutting it because I'm holding it up and cutting that away. So we've cut both of those away. Now we also want to cut these two side pieces. So I'm going to do that on my trimmer, so they're straight. So I'm keeping this up until I'm at the score line. I'll lift this up again, bring this down so it's equal with the score line, and cut it. And then I'm moving it over. I'll show this to you in just a second so you can see it a little better. All right. Okay, so we've got our top two squares cut away, and then we've cut in from the side on both of those pieces so that it looks like this. This is what it looks like diagram wise, and just so you can kind of see where everything is. Okay, so now we just need to fold this piece along the score lines, and my bone folder has gone on a vacation. All right, so let's just fold and fold, and then I'm just kind of reinforcing with my bone folder so that the folds are really nice and crisp. All right, and then folding those ones in. And then folding these ones in. All right, so this one, this bigger end is going to be the front of the box. So what I want to do is I want to tuck in these bottom tabs, and I want the seam to be at the back, like where these comes together right here. So I want to put Tombow on these front two ones on the inside. So I'm just going to put this along here and along here. And so now when I fold this together, it's going to come together like this. You could also actually probably should have put some Tombow. You can see on those little side tabs, they're kind of sticking out. Well, I'm going to put a little Tombow dot on them. Squeeze in there. If I had done this ahead of time, let me see, did I get any Tombow on there at all? If I had done this ahead of time, then I wouldn't be putting my glue bottle down in the box, but this is a good reminder to glue your tabs in, because you don't want them to interfere with the box, like, or your cards when you're putting them into your piece. So now I can just kind of press together on those sides, and then this will come together like this on the front, like that. So rather than always picking up at this front top edge, we can create a little punched area like a thumb grip. So I'm gonna just pick this open, and you could do this before, but the punch actually fits in here. So I did mine afterwards, and I'm just using the, remember the name, I think it's Label Me Lovely. Label Me Lovely, good. Label Me Lovely punch. And I'm just gonna line it up with that little point right there on both sides. Then I'm gonna take a little peek and make sure it's centered from side to side. And when that looks good, I'm gonna go ahead and punch it. And now my front piece has a little thumb grip. So when this tucks in like that, it will look really nice. Okay, and then for the front, all I really did was I took a piece of designer series paper. Let me read what my dimensions were. There's so many dimensions to remember. So I just took another piece of designer series paper. So this one measures 4.5 inches by 3 inches. And I'm just going to glue this to the front of the box. Pick whatever color you want. And I'm going to cover a little bit of the dip of the thumb grip, or you could have it below that, just depending on where you want to place this. Okay. And then I just cut some pieces of designer series paper. These ones measure 3.5 inches by, 3 3/4 inches by 1/2 inch. And all of them are the same. And I'm just going to line up 2 for the bottom, and then I'm going to put Tombow on this top one right here. And then very carefully add this on this side. Just kind of line them up like that. And I just kind of created a little striped pattern for the front, just to give it a little bit of fun. And then, I mean, I could have done this all on the box as well. Whatever makes you happy. Okay, and then I'm just adding that onto there, like that. And then I've got my sheet. Let me just pull this out for a second. I printed this out on just regular computer paper. And I cut it, you just cut it along the strips. You can either use a punched shape, or you can use die cut, but I'm using the Label Me Lovely punch. So I just cut like in between the little labels here, and I punched it out with the Label Me Lovely punch, and then I punched a piece of cardstock and I adhered that to here so it wouldn't be a floppy piece of computer paper. Now that's what you can do. If you want, you can print right onto cardstock if you want, if your printer can handle it. But if you just have a regular computer and it doesn't handle just but computer paper, just print it out on computer paper and back it up with another piece of cardstock. And then you've got this little shape, and you can add a little bit right to the center. And I'm gonna offset this off to the side a little bit. So it's not right in the center, but you can center it if you want to. And there is the little lots of pun note cards, and this is just perfect for putting your note cards in. The one last thing that I did is I just tied a piece of the black and white gingham onto around the top, and I just did a simple knot, and then I angle cut the little ends. So that's all I did to finish off the top of the box. And then all of these little guys will fit inside of here. Now I've got 10 of these. Let's see if 10 fits. I know 8 do. So they're a little bit bulky with the bow. I think 8 is a good number for this little box. So I might suggest that you I mean, 10 will fit. Another couple envelopes would fit in there. They're very flat, but maybe capping it at 8 would be a good number to have in this little box. And then just close that up, and it's just such a cute little thing. You can add more bling if you want on here, but sometimes simplicity is just really good, and it's just a nice sturdy little box. So just a little tip, I did use thick basic white for the box. You could use regular basic white if you wanted to, but the box is a little bit more sturdy with thick basic white. So let me just talk about a few of the supplies that I used, and I have this on my, I'll have a clickable supply list with a video down below, but just a couple of things. I talked about the note cards and envelopes. They can be mailed by US Post, so that's really cool. Choose whatever paper pack you want to use. I like to use like the color group paper pack because they're nice, strong, bold designs, and so they don't compete with your stamped images. They add a nice complement to them. If you don't like Regals, check out the Brights or the In Color collection or the Subtles. Choose whatever you want. The Label Me Lovely Punch works really well with this particular kit because you can punch out those little images, and it's very cute together. If you want the full-size ink pad and the ink refill instead of just the spot, that is where you get it. The ink refill is great because even if you just keep the spot and you don't get the full-size ink pad, you can keep your ink spot going for a lot longer by buying just the refill, and that will keep your little ink spot really inky for a longer period. And then the different stamp and blends that I used right there. And then I've got the trimmer, the Simply Score, the bone folder, the 2 adhesives I used, and the different size blocks. So that hopefully that will help you keep your little kit going for a lot longer. And you know, that's kind of what you want. You want to be able to use those cute little stamp sets for a lot longer. Okay. So the next paper pumpkin, and every paper pumpkin is only $22 plus tax, and the shipping is included. So that's a really great deal. The January paper pumpkin deadline has already passed because my video is a little late this month, but you can sign up for the February paper pumpkin right now. And let me see if I can bring up, should have done this a little earlier, but let me see if I can bring it up. The February paper pumpkin kit is right here. It's called Safari Celebration, and the sign up is by February 10th. And this kit will be 9 cards and envelopes, 3 each of 3 designs. It's going to include card bases, die cut paper pieces, embellishments, adhesive, and more. The Safari Celebration stamp set features a full selection of celebratory sentiments, so like happy, fun sentiments. So don't forget to sign up. Do it now rather than later because you might forget later. The last day you can sign up is February 10th. Let me close that up. So if you have any questions, please let me know. My email address is still on the screen, and I also have my contact information down below. I hope you have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.